Hey, I'm Christopher JMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm very glad you've stopped by. Today we are reviewing the Anastasia Beverly Hills x Jackie Aina collaboration palette and the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid liner. This is more so a focus on this beautiful baby, but I ordered this at the same time, so I figured why not cover this too. I definitely love a liquid liner moment, and I'm hoping that this will be up to par with all the experiences that I love with my liquid liner. But we'll find out. We will also find out how this ABH and Jackie Aina palette performs, what its swatch is like, the price, some information on the product, and what I think about it. So if you want to know all of those things and see these two products in a lot more detail, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right in because this is going to be a lengthy video, I believe. Let's go ahead and talk about the ABH liquid liner. This product is $18, and according to the Anastasia Beverly Hills website, it's supposed to be waterproof, a true black matte, and a felt tip. And as per the Anastasia Beverly Hills website, the description for the liner says, Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid liner is a waterproof, highly pigmented, true black matte liquid eyeliner that glides on evenly and delivers precise lines with ease. Featuring a soft felt tip precision applicator, this liner lets you flawlessly create any eye makeup look you desire. From sharp, thin lines to dramatic, bold lines without skipping or running. We'll find out. It also says Anastasia recommends A3, A4, A6, and A16 brushes, I guess? Oh, it's eyeshadow brushes. Okay, that's funny. That's witty. Combining eyeshadow brushes with an eyeliner. Smart for sales. Anyway, that's the information on the product itself. I'm guessing, and I could be wrong, but I'm guessing that eventually there's gonna be a lot of different colors of this because this has black on it, and why is there black on it? Unless there's gonna be more one day. Oh. Anyway, let's go ahead and open it up and see what she looks like. First of all, the unit carton is very beautiful. It reminds me of the Norvina palette, how it has that like purple color to it. Really, it's just a felt tip liner, honestly. I mean, kind of looks like all of the others. It's a very beefy pencil, I would say. If the product is held in the bottom part, then we take it out. Ooh, that looks like a really nice applicator, actually. Let's see what it swatches like. Wow, that's really fine. Wow. Let's see a thicker swatch. Okay, she can be hefty too. Alright. Well, so far I'm impressed, but that's only on my hand. We will see later what it looks like on the eye. Now it's time to move on to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette. Oh, where did that second one come from? Look at that! Well, I'm just gonna put this one into my giveaway bag for a future giveaway. Huh. I'm so dumb, I'm sorry. But as you see, that's gonna go into a bag for a future giveaway. So back to the palette. This is the unit carton that it comes in. This is beautiful. I don't know that I've ever seen a unit carton like this. I think I've seen a makeup bag that looked kind of like this, but not a unit carton. So this is absolutely gorgeous. It has that holographic rainbowy type reflect in it. You can see the reflection of my ring lights, but they look like they're in a prism. And I like how it has almost like a, is it snake skin or no, crocodile? I don't know. It has some amphibious creature's print on it, and it's really pretty. And then on the back, it goes over all of the ingredients, both for the eyeshadows and the pressed pigments, because this is a combination of both, because this is a cruelty-free palette. And it says Jackie Aina up there on the top. And then if we open it up, here is what the palette looks like itself. Oh. Okay, so it's kind of the same as the unit carton, but not really at all, honestly. Yeah, that is very different. This is the unit carton, this is the palette itself. We don't have nearly the rainbow on the palette, but it's not to say the palette isn't beautiful. The palette actually has more of like a blue, purple, teal purple iridescence to it. And it's pink and purple as like the secondary shift, It has two versions of the shift. I don't know if you'll be able to even see this on camera. Yeah, there's the pink and purple shift, or pink and blue shift. And then you've got like the yellow orangey side to it. Either way, it is also very, very pretty, and I really, really like it. I think it's really cool. Now some details about this palette here. It is $45. This is the information from the Anastasia Beverly Hills website, which is the place that I ordered this palette. I got the other one from Ulta, actually. Or this is 4 payments of $11.25 on Afterpay if you're eligible, because the ABH website does offer Afterpay. And free shipping on orders over $25. And this is over $25, so you would get free shipping if you're in the US, I'm assuming. Now some details for the palette. Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette is a limited edition palette created in collaboration with influencer Jackie Aina, featuring Jackie's must-have eyeshadow and pressed pigment shades for straight-up gorgeous looks. Create everything from neutral matte eyeshadow looks to dazzling metallic makeup looks. And then why you'll love it. Unique full pigment formula is easy to blend and delivers high color payoff and buildable intensity. Contains 14 all new shadows and pressed pigments in both matte and metallic finishes. Wide shade range allows you to create everything from cool to warm toned neutral looks, daring bright eye makeup looks, shimmering metallic eyeshadow looks, and bold smoky eyes. Includes a dual-ended brush and a large mirror housed inside crocodile patterned packaging with Jackie's branding. Crocodile, got it. Perfect for everyone, from the makeup beginner to the experienced artist. Formulated without parabens, gluten, phthalates, or talc. Clinically tested, dermatologist tested, and non-comedogenic, and cruelty-free. We love a cruelty-free sister. Now, I watched Jackie Aina's video on the release of this palette. I will link her video down below so that you can check her out in case you don't know who Jackie Aina is.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Jackie Aina. Check it, check it, check it, check it. Check it, check it, check it, check it, check it, check it, check it. Check it, check it, check it, check it, check it, check it, check it. Check it, check it, check it. Don't like my theme song? Don't care. Leave. But you're not gonna leave. You're gonna sit here and complain in the comment section, aren't you? Exactly, deal with it.
I will link her video down below so that you can check her out, but that way you guys can talk and be introduced to each other so that you can know who she is exactly. Also, I love the fact that she specifically helped curate this palette for people of color. I know it's a really big problem for a lot of people of color to not be able to have palettes that they can really wear because they don't have shades in the palette that can be good for transitioning because they're meant for light skin. And I'm really excited that Anastasia Beverly Hills and Norvina even teamed up with Jackie Aina on this palette for the sake of that, because I think it's really cool to be very inclusive within the beauty community. I think it's very important that we all help bring that out in each other a little bit better, because everybody's beautiful in their own way. Everybody. And I think it's really cool to have a palette that represents that. Now let's open this palette up and see exactly what she looks like. I dropped the brush and the plastic papery thingy, but they won't be in our way now. And here is the palette. Ooh, why does it look so different now? You know, whenever you see a palette or anything really on other videos and then you like look at it yourself in person and you're like, that's different. I'm having one of those moments because this looks very different than what I've seen online. I'm even happier now. So it's better, not worse. Very, very beautiful and not scented. I smelled something. I think it's my diffuser, actually. Oh, off topic a little bit, but speaking of diffuser, this is my BZseed diffuser, and I love this thing. I got this on Amazon, and I've been using it now for like, I don't know, 2 month-ish or so. But not only do I love like the wood grain that it has, but the ring light around here, it lights up and changes colors, and it's so pretty. But I leave this thing on like past the 6-hour mark, and honestly I don't even know how long it goes because I leave it on, then I leave the room and I come back and it just smells amazing in the room. But I loved it so much that I actually became an affiliate with the company. They're normally $30.98, but you can get it for 15% off with my coupon code. So if you check down below, I will leave the details. If you are interested in a diffuser or looking for a diffuser, that is an all-time favorite of mine for sure. Mainly because I like how colorful it is, because it has 7 different colors, so you can make it whatever you want. It kind of sets the mood in the room. Anyway, I digress. Me thinking about the smell of the oil from the diffuser made me think about it, so I wanted to let you guys know just in case you were in the market for a diffuser. Anyway, moving on. Let's get into swatches of this palette. Okay, now the first shade is called Soleil, spelled S-O-L-E-I-L. That is how you spell Soleil. like Cirque du Soleil. This is no offense to anyone, I just don't know how many times I've heard the word soleil, and it is in fact soleil, just so everyone knows. This is the shade Supreme, like American Horror Story, the season with the witches, and they have the Supreme. Then we have the shade Pinker. Then the shade Big Wig. Then we've got the shade Waterless. Then the shade Credit. Then the shade Lituation. Oh, that is a beautiful nude. Like, not my nude, obviously. Next, we've got the shade Damn. Sick. Oh, wow. Ooh, I love that one so much. Then the shade Wiggly's. Oh. Then the shade Shookington. Ooh. Wow, she flaky. Very, very flaky. Then the shade Trust Issues. Then the shade Edges. Sponsored. Wow, Sponsored is really, really cool. And then Ginger. Okay, and that is the entire palette. And as always, I will show you pictures of the swatches, one with flash here, and one without flash here. And of course, gotta get that behind the scenes swatch moment. This palette is gorgeous. There are so many different types of shades in here. Oh, and those metallics. Yummy. So beautiful. Now that I have you guys close enough to see every mistake I've ever made in my entire life, let's go ahead and get started. Is this too close? I feel maybe like this might be a little too close. But no, I want you to see what this palette really looks like and what it performs like on my eyes. So I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna do this for you. For you, I'm gonna do this. Now, I want to give this palette the best chance possible, so I'm gonna go in with my P. Louise base. This is in the shade Rumor 01. And since I'm gonna need a mirror, let's go ahead and peel off the little sticker from the inside of the palette, shall we? You're welcome. Okay, I think we're primed. We are done. We have a smooth, clean, solid base on my eyes. Now that I'm really practically looking at this palette for myself and my own skin tone, there isn't gonna be anything that I can use in here that's just gonna lightly set the base. And I don't really like going in with the translucent powders, so we're just gonna be a little more colorful than normal. That being said, I'm gonna take my Morphe R37 big fluffy blending brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Supreme and use that almost like a transition shade. Not quite, really. It's gonna be more like my my all over crease shade. I'm gonna start by just kind of building it up right out here and working my way inward. With this shade specifically, there is quite a bit of kickback in the pan. I'm not noticing any fallout as I am tapping off my brush before I go into my eye, but she does seem a little powdery. Very pretty shade though. I will say though, something I noticed just with Anastasia mattes in general, they all kind of have that little bit powdery of a feel to them. It's really not necessarily a bad thing because it doesn't stop them from performing well on the eyes. They're just a little bit drier of a consistency, it seems like. She's building up very nicely. And I really like shadows like that, honestly. The kind that start out not quite as punchy and then build up to punchy. Because what I see right here on my eye is the shade that I see in the palette. Just on a wet base, it starts off a little sheerer and a little darker. Alright, I'm definitely feeling the most supreme all over my lids. This is a really, really pretty shade. And it built up very, very nicely in my crease. I will say too, on the other eye, I went in and this time I didn't tap off the excess from my brush after I went into the shadow because I wanted to see how much fallout there actually was, and I wanted to build up the shadow on my crease faster, and I didn't have any fallout, or not that I can see right now anyway. Now, what to do? What to do? I don't know what to do. I think now I'm going to take my Morphe M562 Detail Crease Blender Brush, I think is what this one's called. And now I'm going to go into the shade Pinker and put that on the inner portion of my crease. Now with this shade, I'm only going to take it about halfway to the outside of my crease. I just want it to deepen up the shade Supreme, but only toward that inner portion. So like that. Yeah, that's what I want, I think. Before I continue any further, I'm gonna do this before I forget. I'm gonna take my Morphe M330. This is a synthetic bristle tapered blending brush, and I'm gonna go around the edges of the shade Supreme and just blow that shade out. I meant to do that before I even started applying the shade Pinker, but I forgot. So here we are. Okay, I feel like I am happy with that blend. As you can see, there's definitely a difference between this side, which has no blending along the outside of the shade Supreme, versus blending on the outside of the shade Supreme. So now let's make that even. I said I wasn't gonna go with the darkest shade in the palette, but I'm gonna go with the darkest shade in the palette because I'm kind of at a loss as to what to do now. So using my Morphe M456, I'm gonna go into the shade Credit. And I'm going to just start to try and apply that in my outer crease area. Now I wanted to use this brush because it's more packed and flat, because I wanted to try and concentrate. Now I wanted to use more of this flat brush to apply this color on because I wanted to be able to concentrate the color mainly on my lid and then blend it up and outward instead of making it too dark in my crease too fast. Because I don't want to hide all of that shade Supreme that I put on originally. Now that I look seemingly ridiculous, I'm going to take my Morphe M433 crease blending brush and blend the shade Credit into the shade Supreme and Pinker. I'm probably going to lose a lot of the intensity of the pigmentation that I have right now by doing this, but I'm hoping I can go back in and build it up a little bit. I feel like this is one of those looks that's just gonna really look like crap until you get everything blended out and done, or it's just gonna be one of those looks that looks like crap. I guess we'll find out when I get it all blended out and done. So far, gotta say, all these mattes are blending together like a dream though. I haven't had a single issue out of any one of them. They blend very softly and very seamlessly. They don't have any like weird patchy sticky moments. They just seem to be working well together. Okay, I feel like our blend is looking kind of seamless. I don't see any harsh edges that I don't like. I feel like every time that there is a brown and a pink together in a palette, I always end up making some kind of either chocolate covered strawberry or chocolate covered cherry look. I never mean to, but that seems to always happen. Although I'm really not complaining too much because I really like the way this looks. That is now done. As you can see, the shade Credit is built up in my crease on the outer crease. It looks like my entire crease is now full of the shade Credit because it looks like the inner corner is a dark brown just like the outer corner, and that's not what I want. I want the shade Pinker to be obvious on the inner corner, and I want it to be darker on the outer corner. Now what has happened is all of the blending has kind of meshed everything together, and I've lost a little bit of the shade Supreme as well. So what I'm gonna do is kind of go back and forth between the shade Supreme and between the shade Pinker just to bring out a little more of that pigmentation that I've lost while blending, just so you can see all of that hard work all over again. Now I'm gonna go in with the Morphe M506 brush, and I'm gonna blend Pinker and Credit, the two darker shades, into Supreme up just a little bit higher so that this dark line isn't there anymore. Okay, I think I'm happy with this blend. I can clearly see a difference from Pinker right here to Credit out here, and they all blend in nicely with the shade Supreme on the outside. It still reminds me of a chocolate covered cherry / chocolate covered strawberry, which makes my heart happy. And now let's move on. Now using my Morphe M167 brush, I'm going to go into the P. Louise base once again, and I'm gonna give myself about a half cut crease. It might end up being like a 3/4 cut crease instead, but I'm gonna cut my crease. My crease is now cut, obviously. So now I'm gonna take the Morphe M204 flat packing brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Sponsored, and I'm gonna keep that right on the middle, or try to anyway, and hope that I don't go too far into the inner corner because I'm saving that spot for another shade. Wow, do you see this? That's going on wet concealer, and it's a shimmer shade, and I'm not having to build it up 50 million times just to get it to look like a shimmer shade. Ah! Wow. Okay, consider me thoroughly satisfied, at least with the shade Sponsored. It's green, but it's brown. But it's green. Now I'm gonna take the Morphe M124 brush, also a flat packer brush, but much smaller, and I'm gonna go into the shade Waterless. And we're gonna plop that right in the inner corner. I think the brush might have been a little dense for that shade the first time. Okay, well, gotta say, I'm not nearly as impressed with Waterless as I am Sponsored, but it's still very pretty. And it's not the quality that I'm not impressed with, it's just the color. It looks more of like a rich olive green, I guess, like yellow olive green in the pan. But on the eye, it looks much more yellow to me. And maybe it's because I'm applying it right by that shade, I don't know. Now that Waterless is built up on the inner corner, and I have this like Waterless to Sponsored gradient going on, which I really like, might I add. I'm gonna go back in with my Morphe M433 brush. This is the one that had the shade Credit on it, and I'm gonna put some Credit right on the outer V of my lid and kind of go over Sponsored just a little bit, just so it kind of blends into everything. And I've gotta say, yet again, for using a shimmer shade that I didn't tap off any excess from the shade, there's still very minimal fallout from, well, actually from both of the shades I used, Waterless and Sponsored. Very minimal fallout. There is some fallout, and you can kind of see it if you look under my eyes. That is the extent of the amount of fallout that I got. I haven't taken any off. Now, for me personally, that's still enough to warrant not doing my foundation before my eyeshadow, because I don't want any fallout on my eyeshadow, but it's not a lot. Okay, there we go. I think that's it for the outer corner. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, finished off the shade Credit on the outer V, deepened that up to add some dimension back into the look. Now I've pretty much finished with the crease and the lid with the eyeshadow. So for the rest of this look, I will need the rest of my face done. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face makeup, use all the complexion products, and get to the point where I'm ready to finish off the look with the remaining eyeshadow and the Anastasia liquid liner. Then I'll be able to give my final thoughts on the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up all of that off camera, and once I do, I will be right back. Now we are back after I finished the rest of my face, as you can see, obviously. So now there's a couple of other things that I want to do with the eyeshadow before I go in with the liquid liner. I can't find my actual flat brush for some reason, so I'm going to go in with my Morphe S6. This is an angled liner brush. Anyway, I'm going to go into the shade Big Wig, and I'm going to put this right under my lower lash line. And when I say right under, I mean like right under. I don't want this to go down very far. And now that we have that really thin line of purple there, I'm gonna go in with the Morphe M507 Tiny Detail Blender, I think. And now I'm gonna go into the shade Credit again. And I'm gonna use this darker brown to blend out this purple. Well, that went a little farther down than I intended. Now I'm gonna take a clean Morphe M514 brush just to go over the edges of this lower lash line because it ended up being much more pronounced than I wanted it to be. And I wanna kind of rein that back in a little bit. Now that my lower lash line has finally found a happy place, I'm gonna go in with the Morphe M151 brush into the shade Soleil, and that is gonna go right on my brow bone. Ooh, yes it is. Hello, mama. Wow, that is very pretty. It can be subtle or built up. I like it. Wow, look at that. That would be a beautiful highlighter on me. Probably not for everybody, but it would be for me. Now I'm gonna use the Morphe M222 and go into the shade Trust Issues and plop that right on my inner corner. I thought it was gonna be a little more of a white sheen than just a glitter. Let me swatch that one again. Yeah, see, I thought that was gonna be more like that, but it's not, so that's okay. Here we are. I mean, I'm still happy with it. I was just hoping that it was gonna be bright white instead of this hardcore glitter. I'm also gonna take just the tiniest bit of Soleil and put that right on my lower lash line, but right in the inner corner. So like right here. Yeah, that's pretty. That's more like what I was trying to get out of my inner corner. That like super sheeny, pretty look. That is so pretty. Wow. I just really like that. Okay, now let me zoom you guys in just a bit more and we're gonna test out the liquid liner. Here we are again. Hello. This is very close. Yet again. Welcome to all of my mistakes. Let's see how this liquid liner looks, shall we? Now I'm gonna go for a wing, except it's kind of dark on my outer V, so I don't know how well this wing is gonna show up, but we're gonna try it anyway. We're gonna see what she looks like. No pressure, you're just on camera. This is a brand new liner that you've never used before, and it only has to be perfect. No pressure. It's really long. Let me see if I can get closer. Big enough? Is that too big? No, that's okay. I think that's cute, maybe. You know what? I might not actually hate that wing. I was scared, I'll admit. I'm still scared because I'm afraid it's gonna transfer, and I held my breath for too long, so I think I'm gonna pass out. But I think I like the wing. It's got a nice, smooth, clean line where it was applied. It doesn't look bad at all. She went over the eyeshadow that was down very nicely. It looks kind of thick, but then again, it is on top of like 5 layers of eyeshadow, so I'm sure anything I put on will look thick right now. Wow, but that actually looks really nice. And it's drying matte. It's not tightening too much. I can feel it tightening a little bit, but it's not so much that I can't stand it. Okay, ABH liquid liner, I see you. Now let's see if we can match these wings. I really like the tip of this applicator. Can sisters not twins count for eyeliner and brows? Please? I'm just kidding. I do not understand how I could do one eye so great and it looks so clean and the other eye so terrible. I made like 2 big boo-boos that I couldn't come back from, and I made it bigger and it's kind of lopsided. I have to move on because I'm going to be stuck on this for forever if I don't. So I'm gonna zoom you guys back out and we're gonna finish off this look. Alright, so despite the status of the not so amazing eyeliner, per my application, not per the formula of this eyeliner, this eyeliner is great formula-wise. I actually really like it. Me, myself, however, am not the greatest at the application. But I will say that the felt tip that this has just enough give for it to be perfect. I feel like it's gonna help me with wings eventually. But luckily I have never and will never claim to be a wing expert. That's no lie. And now we are really to the end. All I have left is to curl my lashes and apply mascara. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera, and I'll be right back to give my final thoughts on the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette and the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid liner. Mascara and liner are both completely applied, which means this look is done. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty. I think the different tones in the eyeshadow palette work well together. I think they could also work well apart. You could do like one shade all over the lid with something smoked out in the crease. I think for sure this is definitely a versatile palette. Now something I will say, and I feel like this was kind of the point of this palette, is it's gonna be a little more difficult for people of lighter skin to find any sort of like base transition shade, like something to put all over the lid to set their base, or something just to build up in the crease as a transition, unless it's going to be more colorful or even a deeper color, which is completely fine just from a practical standpoint. That's just something I'm noticing, that this was specifically curated for deeper skin tones, and I love that. I think that if you have light or dark skin, this palette can work for you and can look good no matter what. These colors just, they scream richness. For the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette, I would say recommend for sure, definitely, but be prepared if you have lighter skin not to have a neutral tone transition shade. That's all. Just know that you're gonna need to work with it. I myself am excited to play with this more because I want to see how I can make ginger, edges, and credit all work in my advantage. In my own opinion, this was a good cut crease moment. I really like the shadows in this palette based on performance. I think they work well together. If you've used an Anastasia palette before, then you know what this palette is like because it is true and to the T an Anastasia palette and an Anastasia palette formula. Main difference is this packaging is unlike anything I've ever seen. It is so beautiful. Then when it comes to the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid liner, I think that this might be my new second favorite liner. I'm gonna be playing with this a little bit more as well to just really get the hang of this felt tip applicator, but for now I really like this, mainly because I like the flexibility of the tip. So I'm gonna have to give a recommend to both. Awesome, I love it when things work out. Speaking of things working out, since it worked out that you stayed to the end of this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up if you liked the video. If you didn't, please leave me a comment and let me know what I could do to improve and what you didn't like. Help me help you. Also, if you wanna see this look and more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of coming to my channel, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this, and that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful, and I love you guys. Bye. Now that my lower lash loin